Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another video. I'm deciding to be a crazy person and do videos alongside Vader, not that I really have been filming well enough with that because, well, I'm lazy. But anyway, yep, got another video for you. This right in front of you is my old laptop, my Acer Aspire 5101. It's got like loads of letters after it, I don't know. It's an old Acer anyway, and this served me from about 2007 up to 2011 when the Dell was bought. On top you'll actually notice these. That's actually a joke. These are postage labels. This thing is really a bit of crap. The thing flexes so much when you pick it up with one hand. And you see the giant... Oh, I'm in the light. Use the zoom. Yep. The giant gash that it's got in there, and the warranty sticker, which I never bothered taking off. This thing had a keyboard replaced, although it's really the whole top case, the armrest, because the mouse buttons broke. And then they broke again. And that was after 18 months. The battery life on this died after less than 2 years. And my Dell only got to that point last year. But anyway, let's open it up. Hang on. Oh god, this hinge is stiff. And I'm watching a YouTube video that I've just disrupted. Hang on. So once we wrestle it open, we have the machine itself. I'll draw your attention to the mouse button. It's sunken. And that just wobbles around uselessly. One nice feature this did have though was like a directional pad, which is like the mouse wheel. It's pretty good. The keyboard wasn't bad. It's a bit spongy compared to the other one, but it's a thick, full keyboard. And there you got the model number. Oh, something funny. That is an absolute joke. This would barely function with Windows XP Media Center. This laptop was bought about 3 weeks before Vista sort of hit the mainstream, and it got a Vista disk. But to be honest, I never used it. One, because it's Vista, and two, because this thing would have fallen over and died spectacularly. And as it stood, it only had a gig of RAM and an 80 gig hard drive, which I've now later on found out is actually a piece of crap itself, and no wonder this thing was as slow as it was. But today, we're going to do something that's possibly pointless, but I'm going to do it anyway. Despite my better judgment, I've got some upgrades for the thing, and let me just show you what these are. So I just unwrapped them a little bit more, and yes, that's what you can see. I've got myself an SSD. As mentioned in one of the previous Vader vlogs, which will be like a day or two ago, maybe 3, I don't know. I was searching for an SSD on eBay, like a cheap one. Something not more than about £30 or so. Because this laptop really doesn't deserve it. So I got myself a 30 quid, 120 gig integral. It is SATA 3, but then again, there are no SATA 2 or SATA 1 SSDs available, and even if there were, would you really want them? Possibly not. They had a high failure rate back in the day. But anyway, I got that one. I was bidding on eBay. The story goes, I mean, I said this in a Vader vlog, I'll say it anyway. I was looking for a cheap one, and there was even stuff like those KingFast SSDs, if anyone's seen them. Really crappy, cheapy SSDs. That they were going for like 35, and I was being outbid on them. And I was like, oh, really? On one of those? Okay, fine. But anyway, we got that. Next, we've got some RAM, but I probably won't unwrap this until I actually get it out, but what we have under this foil is 4 GB of DDR2, the maximum this can take. Currently this laptop has 1.5. It had 1 GB in one slot and had a spare slot which, you know, I had a spare 500 megabyte DIMM, so I slotted it in. It doesn't really do much, to be honest. It just crawls along. But anyway, yeah, so let's get to the upgrading. Amusing fact about the power adapter on this, you have to twizzle it to a certain angle to use it, because if you don't, the machine powers off, which is going to be fairly useless when we actually go to power it on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try and power it on and see how far we get. Okay, so we're waiting the power up. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's making noise, it's alive. Hello. Probably should have done a boot race. Ah, now you're seeing the other problem with this laptop. The screen starts up red. Doesn't stay that way, but, you know... Oh, Windows didn't start up. Okay. Hey, Windows XP. I didn't bother upgrading this. I experimented with Linux once or twice, but only with live disks, and it was abysmal, to be honest. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and do that again, but not quite yet. Come on. Should probably have done a boot race. I think I will do after I've just had a quick look around the system. Come on. I'm just going to speed things up from here. There we go. We're into the operating system. Wow, this is a blast from the past. There's applications I just don't use here anymore. Old version of Media Player. I still use Blender when I can. Got that Z-SNES. I still have a lot of these, just that, you know, they're operating differently, or they've got different versions, or some of them have been superseded. I've got part of the Creative Suite on there, although this was never any good for that kind of thing. So yeah, there's some stuff on here. Right, okay. So I'm going to have a quick look around this, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I did a cock-up. I accidentally kicked the power supply with my foot and turned the damn thing off. You see how critical this is? What I might have to do is I might just bite the bullet and buy myself a power supply. There's a third party which does batteries and power supplies for anything. They look like they're good quality, so I might just plump and buy one of those. But this machine just totally is not worth it. It's old, it's clapped out. What is the point? Fun. That's what the point is. This is what this channel's all about. Just tech and playing with things, and just... That came out wrong. Okay, there's an antivirus which is trying to come on there. Good God, version 3. They're up to version 9 now. 2009 it says was the last time this was updated. Oh, I remember something earlier from the last time I tried to turn this on, about 2-3 years ago. When I was fiddling with Linux then, the pop-up came in the bottom of the screen. Virus database out of date by however many days. I want to see how long that is. That's going to be funny. Okay, this must be easily 5 minutes, maybe slightly less, from when we turn this thing on. It's still not loaded. Oh. It's a bit dead. Something happening. Oh, we still got a pointer. Oh, hang on. The power launch is there. Sorry, this is a really kind of boring video right now. I'm just going to cut this until something happens. Got another error. Shell, notify icon, failed to perform desired action, error code 0, malware bytes. Alright, fine. Good for you. I don't think we're any near towards anything happening really. This is like torture. I think we'll just have to wait till this goes off. Hey look, I did one of those drawings. No, seriously, this thing's screwed. Okay, so that just crashed completely. So we've disabled some processes, and I'm trying to start it up again. Hopefully this will work. All I want to do is get to the desktop, so I can start reconfiguring a few things, seeing if all that will work. Seems to be going a lot more successfully now that I've disabled like the malware bytes process, which appeared to be what it was. We seem to be alright. We seem to be getting into the thing. I can, well, occasionally start up the start menu, but it looks like we're currently waiting for stuff to load in. There's the start menu tried. Windows Explorer might load up in a few seconds, but as I'm looking at the memory usage, it looks like... Oh, yep, there we go. Wireless connection not ready. And we've got Windows Explorer up. Right. I'm going to do a little bit of configuring, and then we're going to have a look at this thing, see if we can actually get this to work. One moment. Well, I managed to activate the Ethernet. That seems to work fine. It's actually found a device on our network. Just close that. I'm trying to launch Google Chrome. Let's see how out of date this is. Oh my god, I haven't seen that icon for quite a while. About Google Chrome. Version 14, folks. There we go. 2011, definitely the last time this was used. We're on version like 50 now, is it? Installing new version. Well, it's trying. That's the main thing. God loves a trier. Well, somebody loves a trier anyway. Was trying to do a disk check, but I don't think... Oh, it's moving. Yes, it is. I'm just basically checking the disk because I had a few startup problems a few times. So we'll let that complete and then we'll have a look further. This is full of problems, this one. Well, there's evidence it can actually get on the internet. I mean, Internet Explorer works. But looking... Oh no, hang on. Chrome works as well. Right, okay, we'll get this working. Well, that's interesting. It actually goes all the way up to 49. I think this is actually the latest version. Don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. But it works, and it can get to Google, which is the main thing. We have, you know, modern sort of abilities here. Let's actually try it on YouTube. Let's see how we can do this.
Good afternoon. Damn, I did that in reverse order.
It actually seems to play okay from what I can see. It's a oh, hang on.
So we have another build log video.
Oh
which
no,
is
maybe not.
Absolutely massively
what quality are we on?
late, but whatever. I've gotten over the cold I had in the last one, which only lasted like 3
It's on
days
360, but
and I'm doing good today. So
yikes, that's
we'll
bad.
Just go through a few of the things I got.
We'll stop that. Okay, so there are some issues. I maybe need to do some extra configuring on this end of things, but it does work. It does play YouTube, if you wanted to do that. Fans are going crazy. Okay, so this is just falling over itself. I think the best thing I can do right now is to turn it off and put in that extra RAM, just so we can actually get the thing functioning half decent. I've looked into Task Manager. Chrome has taken 192 megabytes. And considering everything else that's on here for 1.5 gig when most of it is gone already and part of it's used for the GPU, I don't know if it's going to survive okay, so let's do that. Alright, so I'm about to put in the RAM just while I'm filming the video for that. This evening's quite productive actually, should have done this earlier. Got my RAM ready, still watching Davey, and we're going to put this in. Okay, so we've got the RAM ready. This is 4 gigabytes of Micron memory, the correct kind, 200 pin DDR2, 262 of course, and we've opened up the laptop, ready to do this. Done. That was simple. Got the old RAM here, 1.5 gigabytes of shit. But that's done there. Excellent. There's my thumb. So we're going to boot this back up, see if it's any better. It might not be because the disk is slow. Well, I've gone into the BIOS and it looks like it's seeing the memory, but it seems to be only seeing half of it. Extended memory 1919, that's just like 2 gig, not 4. I don't know. So what I'm going to attempt to do is just boot the thing and see if it makes any difference. Right, there's the proof of that. It says installed size 2 gigabytes, installed size on the other slot, not installed. Bullshit. So we're going to switch them around. I have to open up this damn thing again and we'll see what that's all about. So I exchanged the RAM slots and we're going to power it up now. The bottom isn't on because I'm not going to faff around with that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, one of the RAM slots is defective because I've switched them round. So if the same thing happens but in a different slot, we know it's the RAM. Oh, bloody check disk again. Alright, back with you later. Alright folks, we got it. 4 gig of memory showing up. Thank goodness. I thought it was perhaps something to do with one of the sticks being kind of dead. But it looks like it isn't. It looks like it's all good. Alright. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a bit of housekeeping and then we're going to transfer to the SSD. But we're not going to do that on this thing. We're going to plug it into the PC via this thing, the hard drive caddy box thing. And also one of the sorry, the USB 3 enclosures we're going to use to put the other one in. It's all going to come together, I think. I'll get back to you in just a little bit. Just thought for the hell of it, I'll see if there's any Windows XP downloads for the updates. There's 95 of them, that's going to take a while. The system is performing a lot better than it did, however I seem to have lost Ethernet and the internal wireless. I tried that one and as suspected it doesn't even see any of my networks that I actually connect to. We're using that little Edimax thing. I might have already shown this. Yeah, we're using that, hopefully to try and get there. But, I think I'll go take a bath. I was just ready to put this drive, you know, change it over and copy the data. This piece of shite that I thought was a good drive enclosure captured this thing. On the process of getting it out, I've scratched it. Slightly bent one of the edges up. These are shit. If you're going to do this kind of thing, do it the other way around. So just before I actually clone these discs, on the left you've got the abysmal performance of the mechanical drive. I mean, that is terrible compared... I mean, I know it's mechanical, but come on, that's just awful. The one on the right, however, is the SSD. Now, that speed is a bit disappointing. I didn't think it'd be that low. That's not even SATA 2. Okay, maybe the SSD is defective. I don't know. We're going to try and clone it anyway. And now we're cloning using ESUS to do backup. No idea how long that's going to take. It's just initializing the clone, but we should be getting on with that just fine. Alright, we appear to have a successful clone after about nearly 30 minutes. So let's try and get it back in the system. Hopefully it'll boot. If it doesn't, we're just going to sack this one off until tomorrow. Okay, so we got the SSD in. It's all screwed together. Well, that might shoot me in the foot later, but let's see what happens. Let's get into the BIOS as well. I'm always amazed why that screen's gone red. I wonder why that is. Alright, got that ready. Pardon me. Yeah, we've got 4 gigs of RAM, security, blah blah blah. I like how that's just literally listed as SATA SSD S1. Hang on. Shouldn't that be selectable? I don't think that is selectable. Well, we haven't got anything to configure there, so let's just start it up. Oh my god. It's booting. Shit, that was quick. Right, okay, let's not jinx this. Come on. Oh my god. It's working. And this is definitely booting off the SSD because there is no other hard drive in there. And there's no vibration under my hand. Like, I'm putting my hand on the palm rest. Of course there wouldn't be, but I'm just still amazed at that fact. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Get to the boot. No, I won't try and do it Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was going to try and say get to the boot up, but that's not funny enough. Okay, for some reason it hung on that screen longer. Not sure why. It is working. There's the desktop background, but it's not loading well. Okay, so I couldn't solve that problem with the laptop. It's still as bad as it was. So I really can't explain it. SSDs are supposed to be faster, as everyone knows. I guess I'll have to just leave this till tomorrow. I've imported all the video from the thing onto the other laptop right here. So I'm not making much sense. I'm just going to go to bed. We'll leave this till tomorrow or another day. Okay, so if I'm ever going to test this out properly, like all the troubleshooting, I should know how to do this. I work on Macs practically daily. I think we should install another operating system. I think the transfer has gone a bit wrong somewhere, and that's why. So, USB stick in hand, let's install Windows 10. Okay, well, it can see everything, and it can see the SanDisk. Okay, let's go. Well, that's not supposed to happen. Huh. I think that should ignore what I told it to do. I think that just ignored what I told it to do. Let's try that again. Power off. Okay, I realised what I did wrong. This is one of those special U3 memory sticks. That thing is not the boot disk. That one is. Oh yes, that's right. That's the correct one. Ooh, looks like it's working. Hang on. It knows it's 2016. Install now. Setup is starting. I should hope so. Should really have a tripod for this, but I don't even know where the damn thing went. Well, I've got the tripod, I just don't have the bit for the top. Is it loading? Ah yes, activate Windows. I don't have a product key because I'm a peasant. Do I do Home or Pro? I'll do Pro. It's not going to be activated anyway. Who cares? Open the taps. Come on, baby. Come on. Yes, I know. I'm not going to steal Windows 10. Right, I'm just going to blast these drives and then we'll get through it. Well, after the disk formatting thing, when I thought it was going to freeze, it's actually working. I can't believe it. Nothing much to do except let this run, if it does, and that's it. So, catch up with you later. For the longest time, the first one was on 0, now the second one's on 0. This is incredibly slow. I'm starting to think there is actually a problem with the SSD. Pardon me, because I thought the idea behind installing Windows 10 was to see how it ran. Well, it's probably not going to run too well. Time will tell. In 2 to 3 hours it's gone to 9%. I mean, I'll show you in just a second. Yep, that really hasn't moved on. Either this boot SSD, this one I'm trying to use, is completely broken. No, well, not boot SSD, but start again. This SSD that I put in there is defective, or there's something wrong with the boot media. I don't see why, because that was what created the PC. I basically created the install media onto that, and then did the PC, and it's been on the desk ever since. So I really don't know why that is. I suppose that'll teach you for buying a cheap SSD. I thought I was just being cheap and inexpensive in a good way, but it turns out it's happened in a bad way. I might just leave this overnight, see how long it takes. I left it for a full day and it's still not done. I think the hard drive, or rather SSD I've put in it, is a bit shit. Let's take a look at it. In about a day or more, it's done 90%. On the PC, this took no more than about 20 minutes. I think it's a dud. Got up today and tried to complete the installation. That's the message I get. So 2 days wasted, but whatever. Clearly there's a problem, but you know. No, I don't think that's going to work somehow. Alright, back to the drawing board. This is a lost cause. This is going to have to be broken into a 2-part video for the main one that I'm shooting. That SSD is faffed. I think it's the best word I can come up with right now that doesn't involve me swearing. And I'll contact the seller on Amazon and hopefully get a return. So, ready to go to bed. Not much else to say other than I'm tired. Let's go to bed. Not together though. In your own house. Yes. If only people actually knew what sometimes people were saying during these parts of the speed up. Most people just mute it like I've just done. But I could be saying anything. I could be saying, no, we'll not go there. This is a family show.